LinkedIn Live. Today's conversation will be about turning connections into relevant conversations. I think that is so important because really the process is getting to know, like, and trust people on LinkedIn. And then based on that, have a conversation off of LinkedIn. You can't do business in LinkedIn. You can't transfer money. You can't sign documents. So really, the way to use LinkedIn is like if you go shopping. Think of that going to the grocery store and deciding that you have a list or an idea in your mind of what you want to buy. And you go there, complete the list, come home, check it off, and see if you were successful. LinkedIn is no different. They have 810 million people who are capable of being a connection to you. But the big question is, will they be a conversation to you? And if they're a conversation to you, will they be a relevant conversation to you? Because ultimately, the conversation should lead to a collaboration, whether that's client, whether that's joint venture, whether that's service or product supplier. That is the goal. So really, to be more successful, one has to figure out what is the goal in order to figure out what is the success. And if you commit to the goal and the success of the goal, all the steps leading to that are already committed to. Too many people start at the first step, have no idea where the second step is, and just get busy. They run around in circles, chase their tail, and eventually they figure LinkedIn doesn't work. I'm out of here. Or I'm just a billboard on the highway hoping someone sees me and picks me up. So, that's really not giving LinkedIn enough credit and giving yourself too much credit, especially if you're not winning. Because let's face it, there are winners on LinkedIn who prove you can win on LinkedIn. If you're losing enough to quit or quit doing on LinkedIn, it's got to be about you. For things to change, you need to change. So by using simple steps like connections to conversations to collaboration, C plus C plus C equals success, where do you begin with the connections? And that's when you choose who to reach out to connect with and who you allow to connect to you. You have total control over your network. So if you're just getting into numbers, and they have benefit, even if they're vanity numbers, if you've got 38,000 connections like I do, people have two or three say, wow. What they fail to appreciate is out of those 38,000, maybe 30, 40 are really, really trusted relationships I've developed and people I could or want to do business with. The other ones are honestly excess, and they create more distraction, more time and effort with very limited upside towards success. So it's not only what you do right, it's what you determine not to do wrong, or just, it's a time game. It's not a money game, LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't charge you to post, doesn't charge you to connect, doesn't charge you for anything except their basic services that as you go up the food chain cost more, but maybe have more value to you. But it's all in the application. So getting back to connections, to conversations, to collaborations, the key is, where do you get your connections? How do you get your connections? How do you qualify your connections? If you can't see, or not only beyond see, if you can't get excited by whoever you're connecting with, having a conversation with, don't. Because if it's not going to go any further than a wink, wink, nod, nod, you're wasting their time, you're wasting your time, you're taking yourself off track. Things you do are better off not done sometimes. Gives you more time to work on the successful things you do, focus on what's next instead of what's with. And I think that's important. So, how do I get my connections? Well, I look who reached out to me. So, my first step is I look at who viewed my profile, and then I see who are these people and who here would be a benefit to have a conversation with. If you're not willing to talk to them, don't connect with them because you're already self-limiting. Okay, so once you get to that, and then I go to who commented on my post, who liked my post. A big thing that I'm heavily into is polling. Uh, Polling is one of the best tools if you're looking to solicit a response that will now give you permission to invite that person to a conversation while showing them a lot of respect and appreciation, which is to say, how many people look at someone who looked at their profile or someone who took a poll with them and decide to thank them for doing that, and in turn want to do something to continue to expand the relationship? It's, really using either a call to action that I think is necessary in everything you do, because that says, here's our next step. Without call to action, you just got stuff that got sent out and absorbed, and now you're trusting them to figure out what your intention is or what your interest is. I think lack of confidence creates more steps that don't have to be taken based on getting to the point. Some people think that maybe their personality or their process will turn people around. Maybe it influences them, maybe it doesn't. The point is you're better off saying, I'm selling pizza today, and if you want it, here's where it is, and here's what it costs, and here's all about it. Instead of saying, I'll feed you anything you want, don't worry about it. Because that's what most people do. They sell what they don't have, not thinking they'll ever sell it. When they do, they got to scramble to provide it. It is so backwards, and that would be considered an almost. People think that if you almost win, you're on your way to winning. No, you're missing an ingredient that's stopping you from winning. So, anyways, there's a lot to this. I've been doing this for 1,000 days, every day posting. I do it all myself. I've created a newsletter 3 weeks ago. I advocate you check it out. It's got 8,000 subscribers in just a couple weeks. I'm doing a LinkedIn Live every morning like this. I'm doing 2 podcasts with Mike Weiss, our LinkTank podcast, and we just created a mastermind group, $47 a month. Mike's contributed $12,000 worth of his library of unbelievable trainings and strategies. And we put an hour a week on Fridays for interactive group questions. And it's a money back guarantee. So I don't know what you do with $47 a month, but if you're spending hours here and not getting your results, maybe it's time to buy some vowels to solve the puzzle. Trust and work with people who are doing it every day, sharing what they're doing, sharing the results, bringing you into it, reducing the learning curve. Check it out. Anyways, I hope this built a little bit more insight and context as to why you're doing LinkedIn, the psychology of connecting, of having conversations, of building collaborations. There's a lot. It looks simple, but what's simple is not always easy. And the point I'm trying to make is get with the people doing it, whether it's me and Mike, whether it's whoever you can find. I didn't know anybody like me when I started. And you can always go back to yesterday. It's not like you took off and the bridge fell down behind you. So With that said, I'll leave you with another motivational, inspirational saying, and this really is appropriate for the conversation we just had, is if you don't have time to do it right, do you have time to do it over again? Do it right. It's faster and it's a lot more fun, and there's nothing saying you can't enjoy the ride. So keep smiling, keep listening, reach out to me, comment, direct message me, join my group, share this with people who you know probably could use it, make a friend of theirs. And also, that really brings me to the last point, which is be a service provider, bring value, go into the give, not the take. Invest in what you believe in. If you're going for relevancy, if you're earning people's trust, then pay for it. Pay for it with a little time, pay for it with a little effort, and pay for it with a little thought. And you'll distinguish and differentiate yourself from the crowd. And that's what you want to do. Elevate from the 810 million to the 1/10 of the 1/10 of the 1%. Goodbye for